All right, hello everybody. Beau-hindman here. It is the 5th of October 2016. I thought it would be fun to return back to streaming finally after such a long time away. I had to get a new setup. I had to get a new graphics card, which I'll talk about a little bit, which as a matter of fact is a kind of a good thing to mention because it has to deal with graphics. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk. Sorry, I'm checking my little setup here because I'm still working with it. What we're going to do today is talk about Second Life because I really enjoy talking about Second Life. It's one of my favorite worlds, games, whatever you want to call it, activities, etc., etc. And what's really cool about it is that it's so variable in what it can do. There's so much that it can do that people often forget what it can do because it's such a blank slate that a lot of people don't really, they just get overwhelmed basically in the game. I call it a game just to keep it simple. Other people call it a world or whatever, but it's basically a social game. Now, just to get right to it, what I was wanting to cover today is kind of a how-to. This is how I play Second Life. This is what I do. Since I'm streaming right now and people might wonder, you've got to have this massive gaming machine to stream Second Life and stuff like that. It's not true. It does help. Right now I am running, it's about a 6-year-old machine actually. I think I bought this in 2010. It's a Core i7 2nd or 3rd gen. I can't remember. It has 12 gigs of RAM, and I only recently updated the graphics card to a GeForce GTX 650. So every time I say those stats, I just get a giggle because all that tells me is that in a few years I'm going to listen back to those stats and giggle about how those at one time were okay. But as you can see, my rig, I should say, is nothing amazing. It doesn't do anything, it doesn't blow you away, but it can play most modern games. But as far as just speaking about Second Life does require a gaming rig, I think, but it requires as well a really good connection because as you go around the world, you're going to be needing to load the areas that you're visiting. As you're loading those areas, that can take quite a bit of it can impact your connection quite a bit. I have already loaded into this place. This is one of my favorite little buildings, little areas that I visit. It's one of these kind of cleverly hidden shop type things. I love this upper deck area here for just a tiny little open mic type of thing. Being that it's Second Life, you can look at everything. Look at the detail on the microphone here. Absolutely ridiculous. People put so much detail into some objects because they can do so much with textures now and stuff like that. So absolutely wonderful. This place, by the way, is called Arts and Letters Literary Salon, Ministry of Media, and I'm going to cover that a little bit. As you can see, it does have a little M rating up here, M for moderate. Second Life, for example, you can't play Second Life on Twitch, and you can't do that because, let me have a little Topo Chico. You can't do that because it's banned from being played on Twitch because it has a potentially higher rating of adult. I tend to avoid the adult regions, and what I like to do is when I go to search for something cool, it's very easy, and you can even set it in your settings to completely avoid adult, as I have it here, but you can actually take off moderate. It's general, moderate, and adult. I don't care to go see virtual sexy stuff. It's just not, I don't dig it. It's not my thing. I'm not going to do it. But a lot of times when I'm looking, and I'm going to be coming back to this screen in a minute here because I want to show you how to find pretty things in Second Life. I usually just refer to it in the general setting there, in the general section, because I want to keep my streams and my gameplay safe for work simply because I don't enjoy that other type of stuff. But this is about how to make Second Life pretty, and can Second Life even be pretty? As you can see as I walk through this scene, it's very pretty. There are, as I turn, you're going to see a few little graphical glitches and stuff, but that's going to be due to my card probably, maybe to some of the systems in Second Life. As I get, ooh, there goes my motorcycle neighbor who's a real dork. As I gave you my stats earlier, they weren't mega impressive, but they were something. So I'm running it. I'm running it. I could probably run it in Ultra as well. You can go to the advanced settings and see that I have some stuff turned down. It's just all preset stuff. So all this stuff is set by the game. So is setting? Whoa, is shadows even on? Oh, depth of field is not on. Anyway, so you can tweak with all that to get performance. But what I tend to do is, if you're really having a performance hit and trying to make Second Life look good, I would go to the preferences and I would turn down draw distance. You see how far I have it down? I could turn it pretty high up. I haven't experimented with it yet, but even my old card could do that. But if you have that draw distance turned way up, that means that you're trying to show your computer's trying to process things that are way far in the distance. That's going to be a lot harder to run. So you might crank that way down and concentrate on making an area about even just this big that I'm in here. Crank up the graphics in that little area, but turn everything way down as far as distance, and you're going to be able to do social stuff like I am doing here, hanging out in a club or something, dancing or whatever. The second thing I would recommend is searching for editors' picks, well-known builds, stuff like that. That, again, if you go to this is basically your Google of Second Life, this little magnifying glass here. I'm going to turn off moderate for now. But if I want to go to the destination guide, this is going to have different kind of picked out things. There's even, I believe there's editors' picks around here somewhere. Let me make this a little larger. Let's go home. Where's the editor's picks and all that stuff like that? There's usually a little, let me open it back up. Hang on a second. Usually a little bitty thing here, and it's going to have a little drop down. But anyway, you can go to the destinations guide. Let's turn off moderate, keep it on general. And a lot of these are going to be picked out, stuff like that. They're going to be popular, whatever. But you can kind of even see from their the little, oh no, this is just sick. I hate that stuff. Anyway, their little pop-ups, the little art on their actual illustration here, their actual listing. If it's not impressive, then it's probably not going to be impressive in person. So you really kind of got to keep that in mind. Like, here's some strange one called Uni Hispania. Oh, okay, that's not a strange name. That's just Spanish. I'm sorry. There's also, that picture's kind of neat. Here's Bay City history. What is this? Originally printed visual history, Bay City. So that's kind of cool. So you can teleport to that. You can check the map and everything like that. So as you're looking for stuff, let's say you're wanting to go in and take some screenshots of Second Life, whatever that. Take your time and filter it, because Second Life is, again, I show this to people all the time. Second Life is world map. Second Life is not only huge, but it's see here I am on this sim, the Ministry of Media here. When I scroll out, you're going to see how just incredibly huge all these little dots, all those dots making up this picture here, this map. Those are all individual sims that are huge, and you can zoom in even further and further. So you have the normal kind of mainland area that's going to possibly be filled with all sorts of junk, and then you have the private sims that might be a little bit more, might look a little more cool. People put a little more effort into it, and all you got to do is think about it in that way. If I was to spend a lot of money on Second Life to make something pretty, or if I was going to spend a lot of money, I should say, on hosting my own server, then I would probably also take some time and make it look relatively nice. By the way, if you have any questions, howdy, Sam in the chat room there, anybody else, or if you're watching this later, which a lot of my viewers do, you can always ask questions in the comments and I'll try to answer them. So to find pretty things, look at how huge it is. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. To find pretty things in Second Life, you have to do a little homework. You can't just, the problem I see is that a lot of people go, oh, Second Life is filled with crazy people and sex addicts, and I'm not going to go in there. With that attitude, you're not going to find anything. But if you take 5 minutes and you really kind of search around and you spend a little time kind of hanging out with the right people or going to, let's say, an art gallery exhibition or something like that, you're going to just eventually kind of filter it out naturally. See, so as I'm looking around this I guess this is kind of like a shop club thing. I'm not real sure. I mean, you can see just how the details in some stuff is just amazing. People really spend a lot of time on shading, getting things right. I mean, if you look at that right now, right there, that's like a photograph almost. And that's just really textures, and it's probably actually a whatchamacallit, a mesh thing that they've made. But I mean, look at the textures and stuff as I get in really close. So if you want to make Second Life pretty, if you want to see pretty stuff in Second Life, or like I said earlier, you want to take some screenshots or whatever, you have to do a little homework. Second Life is not rewarding to those who jump in and just look for trouble and jump. It's just not. I've been playing since 2004, and it really is. You really have to kind of do a little work to find something worthwhile. I like spending time in these type of places because they're small. They're contained on an island. Oops, sorry. Close the door on myself. Contained on an island. As you can see, my internet is not the best. So as you can see, as I'm walking along, it's actually loading. So that's part of your experience in Second Life. If you're trying to find pretty stuff, you're going to have to wait for it to load. But if you wait for it to load, you're going to see these textures. I mean, look at the stones here. You see how it's a little bit blurred? As I zoom in here, it'll probably load that stone, I'm guessing. Or it will eventually, and that texture will load and everything will be really, really nice looking. But you can look here at the table. When we really zoom in here, you're really going to start seeing some of the details. So the one drawback, which won't be as much of an issue later, is fiber optics and stuff, fiber networks and stuff become a lot more common than they are now. For example, I'm in Austin, we have fiber here, but it's not as good and it's not as fast as it could be. As that becomes available more later, games like Second Life are games where people are creating custom stuff constantly. It's not going to be nearly as much of an issue. Look at the flame. That's a very pretty animation on that little flame there. Look at that. Somebody made that, and that's just a repeating. If I get in close, you're going to see here. That's just a repeating texture that probably there's several of them there. I'm guessing. But look at that. You can. That's what's really cool about Second Life is if you really see something neat, you can really break it apart. Now, again, I'm running this on Ultra, but I don't have a mega gaming PC, so you can see some real pretty stuff in Second Life even on an older machine. Like I said earlier, what I tend to tell people to do is go into the game and turn the graphics all the way down, every bit of them. Turn them all the way down. You can even use the preset and just crank it all the way down. And then slowly turn up the things that matter to you, but do it slowly and see the stuff that's really causing an impact. Some cards have a really big problem with certain types of, let's say anti-aliasing, for example. Anti-aliasing it hits everybody pretty hard. It's a very graphics processor, I guess, heavy thing, if that's the right description or whatever. And it can really hit hard because what it's doing is it's spending time making everything nice and smooth, the lines nice and smooth. And I think I have mine on 2. I think with 2 you're fine. If you want to crank it up more, go for it. But I mean, as you can see, this little place here, if I zoom way out, I'm on a sim. A single sim out in the... Oh, and you know what? Actually, I'm on a Skybox. So this is genius. What they've done, and this is what a lot of people do, is they build way up in the sky. Look, this must be the experiment stuff here. Let's see. Yeah, this is like their storage house. Look at that. They have some storage down here. This is the thing about Second Life. There's really nothing that's hidden in the game. It's really, you can kind of take everything apart. It's risky because you can, you kind of like peeking behind the curtain a little bit. But I think most people know how Second Life works, so it's kind of neat to see how they've built everything. I enjoy looking everywhere. But what they've done here is they've created a skybox way up in the sky. The land is way, way, way down there. So I bet even if I jump off, I probably wouldn't hit the ocean because they might have it just a chunk of land. So the reason a lot of people do this to make a really pretty lag-free experience, or for the most part, is if you build up in the sky, as you can see, I'm not loading anything. There's nothing around me. There's clouds. They can control the weather on this thing. I can even control the weather to a point. Let's go to world here real quick. Let's put the sun and sunset. There you go. Look at that. Let's put this cloud. Sorry, I ate a bunch of nuts earlier. Okay, let's go to midnight. So see, some sim operators don't want you messing with the weather like I just did, because they want you to experience their creation. They want you to experience how they intended it, which is, a certain look, a certain feel, stuff like that. See, that's really, really pretty at night. Look at that. See, and this is just one. The only problem is they do really need a good flicker on that. Now I might have lights turned off a bit, but those candles might not be a strong enough light source to kind of light up the table. You can imagine how beautiful that'd be. But if you're in a world and you got the sun set here, they always use the region settings because that's how they intended it for it to look. I'm not going to try to go into a piece of art and manipulate how it looks. I want the artist to have the freedom to create something and let me see it how they intended it. So I usually don't mess with the weather that much or with the sun or anything. I mean, the thing about Second Life is it's as beautiful, it's as pretty as the creators of the items want it to be. But if you take a moment and you look at what some creators have done, the details they put into stuff, and a lot of this is just because they want to do a certain texture or whatever. Let's see how many prims that is. Landing back too. Okay, so maybe that's a mesh. I don't know. I was talking to my friend Crystal today about meshes. She's a mesh artist, and I still don't quite understand them, but because I don't build on them. My avatar right now, for example, is a mesh avatar, but these are all. I just threw this one on. I have a normal one I pick from, but you can actually pick from any avatar. They've created all these wonderful new ones with meshes and everything, so you can just simply select one, and it's going to turn you into that person. But mesh is the way to go now. I'm not going to try it. Look, it looks like Johnny Depp or whatever. Who's that singer dude? What's that? I can't remember who I'm talking about. So you can switch on and off. These aren't necessarily the very best meshes or whatever, but it shows you, how Second Life's mesh technology and how their avatars, meaning their character models here, have gotten just crazy, amazing good. I mean, it's just really nuts how far they've come. When I got a scorpion on my shoulder. That's pretty cool. Look at that. That's probably, see, that's its own little object there. And see, again, Second Life is as pretty as the textures that people intend on them. If I click here on that, that's, wow, that is really cool. Look at that. It's a clockwork scorpion. Oh, it's a steampunk dude. Okay, yeah, I'm not a fan of steampunk, but that's cool. So, can Second Life be pretty? Absolutely, of course it can be pretty. It's as pretty as people, the creators, make it, and it's also as pretty as you can handle. So it's really a twofold thing. You have to have creators willing to spend a lot of time on great textures. I mean, look at the leather texture here. This is not an actual bumpy map, I don't believe. This is going to be just an actual texture that they put on an object. If the texture is good enough, as you can see there, the shadows and stuff are in the texture. The cool thing about Second Life that a lot of people don't realize is that if you go into an FPS, for example, those objects and the stuff were made by the team. They are created to look a certain way, stuff like that. You load them and you might, see, the shadows are slowly moving. That's what's happening. You load them and you try to, run the game how your computer can run it. But if there's so many objects that are individually tweaked, like these particular chairs, that once you load that, you've loaded the texture, it could look photorealistic as these do. I mean, look at that. If you didn't know, or if that was a photo of something, that would look absolutely real. Which again is a trick of, there's some of it with the graphics with my shadows and stuff like that, the fact that I have it cranked up. But if you look closely at the sweater here, I don't know how fine the texture goes. Let's take a look here. It might go pretty fine. Sometimes you'll see these textures will just be unreal in how well they look, how good they look, but at the same time, quick to load. So that's kind of another problem with Second Life, is that everything takes a while to load. If you do your textures well and you kind of optimize them, then they can actually load pretty quick and you're not really having much of a problem. So I mean, look at those. That right there, if you took out the trees are very hard to do absolutely realistic. There are some in Second Life, but if you took out the trees, if you just saw that, you would think that was just a photo of something. A photo of paperwork. And a lot of those shadows and a lot of those colors and stuff are built into the texture, because a lot of individual artists have the ability to look at this chair, for example, build it, texture it, and then they can slowly tweak and say, it needs more shadow down here, it needs more a little scratch there, these patches need to be, so you can tweak it individually so that by the time it's into the world. I mean, look at the blanket. So nice. So let's see some other sims that might be cool. I like to actually realistically say, hey, I don't like my avatar now, darn it. I had a cool one somewhere. What was he? New good? Let's try that. The problem with having so many things is that I have no idea what was recent or not. This is not as nearly as cool, but I need to change him. I need to do my avatar, get a good mesh one. Okay, so what I like to do in Second Life is whenever people are watching, and I get most of my views later on, I like to show how that you can realistically navigate Second Life, so that people who are like, oh, I want to try Second Life, and it's overwhelming or whatever, I want people to realistically be able to do it without much intimidation, and that way the Second Life itself, Linden Labs or whatever, don't do a fantastic job of reaching out to new players. I wish they would make it more newbie friendly instead of all about it looks like fashion and stuff. I think they could really suck people into it more if they did a little bit more of that. But here's how I do it. I always like to go to the magnifying glass, leave it off of moderate. When I'm in the game by myself, I'll leave it on moderate. Moderate meaning that it can be, you might see something slightly adult, maybe a artwork or something that has nudity in it, that kind of thing. But for the sake of live stream, I'm not going to put that on. So let's go to destination guide. Let's see if we can find something cool. What I like to do is I like to fawns. Look at this one. Fawns breedable. It's like a weird, see, look, this is another sign of somebody who I think is pretty confident in their build, and it is somebody who makes like a logo, and that's like their picture of their, you know what I'm saying? This is their introduction to their site. When you click on the profile breedable, that's what you see. They're saying, we're so confident in our build, we're not going to try to, like, look at this one here. It's like a mall. You can't really see the details. This is fantastic. So I'm going to go there. What's cool about Second Life, and I show this to people every time, is if I wanted to go back, you hit the back arrow literally like you're on a browser. So I'm back in that house. Go back to the place I was at. Okay, already I know this is going to be cool looking. I mean, look. This is ridiculous. Okay, so the first thing you do when you load in Second Life, I don't care if you have the best connection in the world. I don't care if you have the best rig in the world. The first thing you want to do in Second Life, and this is a weakness of the game itself, the software itself, but that's fine, is you want to give it a second and just let it load. But I mean, look, so cool. I mean, just look around. Let me go into first person mode here. Actually, I kind of like it better because then you see my shadow. So this is breedable, fawns breedable. Oh, I can see up here and see how it has its little address bar. So as soon as you load in, it's magical. It has these little glistening things. Notice also the trees. The trees are actually moving. Look at that. Who did this? And again, I bet you, I don't like to peek behind the curtain, like I said, but I bet you this is a Skybox or something similar again. Oh, wow. Holy moly. No, this is a great big, look at that. Either they have, what is this? It's like they built on a giant sphere or something. Look, let's do a little map. I've got to know. I'm sorry, I've got to know. Where am I at now? Oh, look, and oh my gosh, these people are genius. They even built, that logo on the map is built out of objects, so that when things that people don't realize about Second Life's map is that it loads the objects, the builds in real time. So you can actually change what people see on the map by doing that. That's so fantastic. And this is great. You just move forward and automatically zooms back in. All right, so we're at Fawns. Just already, it's stupidly pretty. Let's see what it says. See, this is where the loading can kind of come in a little bit. You can always hit Alt and Option on Control. I'm on a Mac keyboard right now. Congrats on making the official Fawn sim. Feel free to walk around the sim and see that all Fawns have to offer. Closer to launch, we'll make sure we have the CSR around 24/7. I don't know when they're launching. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe they're not. Click here to see a list of all your pre-order packs. I don't care for all that right now. I just want to look. But the color scheme they have is fantastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk up in here. The path is very inviting. This is good. So community area, dueling area. Are they like Pokemon? Vendors. One thing that you have to realize on Second Life 2 is a lot of pretty builds this is one of the critiques I have of builders a lot of times, sim owners. They have a pretty build and then, oh, it's a private island. Thank you, Frog. And then they kind of mess it up by adding a big mall or something. I don't mind shopping malls, but I really enjoy the art exhibits and stuff like that, or like that old house we're in, where the experience is the product more so than go here and buy our stuff. I don't mind that. In this case, they're selling a specific item and it looks amazing anyway. So what are these? But you know what I mean. I really enjoy. Look at, holy crap! Look, what do we got here? An animated GIF. How are we loading these? Oh, you hold them. I have no idea what these are. But again, I'm just kind of illustrating prettiness in Second Life. And yes, Second Life can be very, very pretty. So Fawn's Beta Pack. All pre-orders come with Fawn's Beta. See, look at this. They really, if you're going to make a store though, and you're going to try to attract people, you might as well make it look really, really good. Unbirthed Fawns, 1 week of Ether. Who knows? Who knows what this is, but I think it's awesome. See, they've got the grass. This water is, correct me if I'm wrong, Frog, you might know, or somebody else later watching this, because I still get comments on streams that are 6 years, 5 years old, whatever. This water might just be a texture on top of the water. Am I wrong? Anyway, I love looking at how they build stuff. Racing area, community area. So what they've done here to create beauty is several things. Here comes my dorky neighbor on his motorcycle. I hate those motorcycle dorks who rev up all the time. They've done a few things. Oh, look, there's like a flying oh, it's like a comet. Oh, shoot. Oops. It's like a comet. Let's see. Where did that go? Oh, look. Oh, how cool is that? They've done a bang-up job. Oh, wow. They've done a few things. I'm sorry. They have created a palette that gives you a particular feeling. This one, I think, is mystical and magical and stuff like that. Feels a little hot, but it has a unearthly type. That's what they're going for here. The purples, the red, blues. It all works well together. They picked out what they want to do and they started to create it. Second thing they did is use some great textures. I mean, look at the tree. This is what I was talking about. Trees can be very hard to make realistically, make them look realistic in the game. But that's a pretty bang up job right there. And that tree is actually a ton of stuff. So they've picked a centerpiece, they've picked a theme, and then they've made the lighting change. Now, if I wanted to, and I don't know if it allows it, I don't think all Sims, in fact, it's been a while, rotating texture on a sculptor mesh, yeah, that's what I thought for the water. But you can often change, the settings here, and look at it, it just lost everything. This is why I don't like to mess with see that? So that's kind of pretty. So what I like to do is use the region settings always and keep it how they've got it going here. Super pretty, very, very, very lovely sim here, lovely shop. I have no idea what a fawn is. Maybe I'll try one out someday. I don't know. All right, so let's look for let's do 2 more pretty things here, and then I'm going to get back. This is my first stream back for a long time. CC's Fish Factory. Let's just get Fish Factory. Fish Factory. It's general. That's good. No, that's the group. Where am I looking here? Let's look. That's the group. Let's see if the group has the link. There's got to be one on CC's thing here. What's cool about Second Life is you can find something cool and you can actually link it to people. You can send it to an email or something like that, and then they can actually click on it. Which one is CC Fish Factory? Let's try that. Teleport, please. Chat Room Frog said that would be a cool place. Let's see what this one is. As you know, it's the first thing that happens as soon as I log in or I load into this area. Starts to load. What is this? Is it like the Fish Factory in Seattle, where they throw the fish at each other and stuff like that? So this is like, there's all sorts of weird noises and stuff. I've got music turned off, by the way, because if you have music on and you monetize your videos, which I do, they can, you can play some copyrighted music and you'll make no money off your videos. I usually keep music off in Second Life because it plays. You can walk through a sim and it'll play like standard copyrighted music. This is what is this? Frog, you recommended this place. I want to show pretty stuff, not a shopping mall. Oh, that's cool though. It's a tree house. Ooh, look at that. Very nice. So let's keep looking here. That's CC's. Let's go back to the destination guide. This here is what I was talking about earlier whenever I look for it. If you come down on this category and you go to editor's picks, this is really, I really love the editor's picks usually. Oh, let me get I got Fish Factory still in there. Alright, nope. I don't want Fish Factory in there. Let's go to, I hate when I've do the wrong thing. Where did I go? Editor's picks here. No! No! Come on, man. Let's see, I'm going to go to editor's picks again. Oh my god. If you reload Fish Factory, they're going to be so upset. See, it doesn't always load the right thing. Anyway, let's go back to the destination guide. Oh, it's a toy store and fishing area. That's cool. Let's do destination guide. Where were we at earlier? Observatory. Doesn't look super pretty. We're looking for pretty stuff. What is this thing? Quality, seamless textures, and free stuff. Rock forms and caves. Hey, let's check it out. Oh, no. Oh, noodle. Well, can't go there. You just lost a customer. Let's go again. Let's do this. Speaking of trees. Let's see. Let's just click on them and see what we've got here. The titles, man, you gotta have a good title to pull stuff people in. There was a cool bonsai tree seller, and they would just make the regular trees small, but they were really, really cute. Prim possible? Let's try it. So even if you search, man, you gotta find. Occasionally, you're gonna find something junky. Where am I at? I am under the water. Ooh! Clunk. Clunk. Either they have their entry area wrong or something. Look at me swimming. Who knows what they did here? Let me see if I can get out. There we go. This is not pretty at all, is it? Let's keep looking. Let's see. Destination guide. Editor's picks. Let's go to art. Let's take trees out, please. Thank you. Let's go to art. Okay. Oh. Weird. Okay. Who knows what I just found here? Let's stop flying. Also, I need to take my name off. I hate how it displays my name. I always forget to turn that off. So this is a moderate level thing. It's an installation space. It's not very cool. Come on, you ain't got much time to impress me here. Let's see, the last ephemeral. Let's do it. Oh, wait. Is it loading in? Nah, darn it. People have got to be aware, in Second Life, of their Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. It's wacko. Perfect. Like, what is this? See, this is definitely a place where you don't want to mess with your lighting, and you might not be able to. Can't they turn the lighting off? Like, you don't have the ability to adjust the lighting. Look at the car thing. Who knows? That's fantastic. Let's stop flying. Let's do a little run here. It's just an art installation. Click for dance. Yes. Dance all. Ballet. There we go. Now I'm doing a little dancing. They've got a little animated animator here. It's basically a my leg. That's all right. Doesn't work very good. All right. Click for free avatar. I'll do it. Give me a free avatar. I'm gonna keep it. Boop. Let's see what we got. Boop. Where'd it go? I have no idea where. Recent. Let's just open that up. Boop, boop. I just dragged it, didn't I? Oh, look how pretty I am. Oh wow, look awesome. It's completely Oh, that is so cool. I completely did something wrong. But I'm keeping it. That's me. That's who I am. But let's keep looking here. So again, as you can see, to achieve something that is pretty in Second Life, there's scale is a good idea. You can mess with the scale. Second idea is the lighting. Oh, if this is a giant skeleton, that is incredible. My gosh, people put a lot of effort into this stuff. I showed some art last time. I always enjoy showing art because it's one of the best things that one of the best reasons that Second Life exists. It's just, I'm still doing the ballet. Oh, what a weird. Who knows what happened? Art is one of the reasons that Second Life is a viable in a wonderful thing. They really don't talk about it enough. But look at the landscape. So they've also kind of tweaked on the landscape. Again, a lot of this can be adjusted through your settings. If your settings don't allow for what the hell? If your settings don't allow for these kind of graphics, it might. I don't know how much it is dependent on graphics or how. See, now this is getting a little uglier again. Let's go back over here. See, this here it comes. Perfect. So there's a lot to making Second Life pretty and finding pretty things in Second Life. I'd say that the only thing I've discovered, the reason that keep coming back to Second Life is because it's neat to explore. You have to know what you're getting into, and you also have to be able to look and recognize pretty. Man, I am just completely messed up. Look at my guy. I'm leaving it. That's him now. He's gonna walk around like a horror show. Look at his hand. Oh, it's so cool. Beautiful. You really have to kind of dig for it. It's not that Second Life does not have a lot of pretty things in it. It's just Second Life has a lot of kind of newbies or people who are experimenting, just poking around, those kind of people. So it's hard for the game. The game can't force people. What the heck? Look at that. The game can't force people to. You can't force taste. You don't know how to do that. Oh, if these are avatars, that would be amazing. I mean, look at that stuff. Super cool. So it's hard to do. So I think I've answered that. Yes, Second Life can be very, very pretty. It can be super unusual. It can. I mean, just look at that. That's all based on somebody's texture and animation. Very simple concept that is not hard to achieve. What's hard to achieve though is how it flows with the rest of the stuff around it, so it looks like it belongs. All that kind of stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to return to streaming with an old favorite of mine, which is Second Life. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comment section. You can follow me on Twitter. It's all right over there, I think, on my little overlay there. And if you want to check out anything else, let me know. I'll probably keep playing here in the stream, but you can send any comments on YouTube or on Twitter, and I'd be sure to check it out. Email me, of course, if you want. Have a great day. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.